Good evening and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. This is Kristen and I am here with day 21's 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, and who has joined together this month with Scraptember, which is Laura Alberts and the Scrappy sisters. And Christy provides the sketch, and Scraptember, the ladies in Scraptember provide a prompt, and you can do one or both or whatever you want. So with the sketch, there are 4 pictures, some banners, a thick border at the top, and then a title and some embellishing spaces. And the prompt from Scraptember is scraps. So I do have my pictures picked out. I only have 3, but I felt like this was the perfect thing to scrapbook. I have picked some things to go with it. I've got this lovely Paper Studios Woodland Retreat paper pad to use as my new stuff, and then I've got some scraps too. So here is why I've got some Woodland paper. Here are my pictures. This is me and, well, a Sasquatch, and a post from Facebook about it, and then my best friend. And so instead of having 4, I'm going to have 3. I think I'm still going to stick with the same amount of banners and just spread it out a little, but we shall see. And then, like I said, I have this Woodland Retreat paper pad. I also have the Forest Friends from Paper Studios, which correlates pretty well with this paper pad. They are not identical, but there are a lot of similarities, and the colors are real similar as well. I said that really slow. And then, of course, because of the prompt, I have a pile of scraps, and I'm not saying these are the only scraps I'm going to use, but I pulled out anything woodsy. Most of these papers came out of the Woodland book. A lot of these wood grains are from just individual pages that I had, or from a couple of different paper pads. So, and then these were actually scraps from a marketplace purchase, so as well as these. So that is the majority of that. And then I pulled some scraps of browns and grays and black and like this lighter black color. And then I have, and this is my best friend, so I pulled this Crafter Square set of friend embellishments, and 2 different Tim Holtz ideology, the clippings and the snarky small talk. So this is the majority of what I'm going to work with. I may pull scraps, like I said, from other places, and I may pull some other little stickers, but I'm going to try and stick with these scraps and the embellishments and stickers that are in this kit. And I guess we shall see how it goes. All right, so I got my table cleaned off and pulled out this Woodland Retreat paper and picked this green tree background. And then I had already found this wood grain strip that is about 3 inches and thought that it would be perfect for that top border. So I put some double-sided tape on that and put that down on the paper so that I would have that top border taken care of. And I like the distinction between that light wood grain and the green that did not come from this kit. It was some scrap that was in my scrap drawer, and since scrap paper was the prompt from Scraptember, I thought that was perfect. Now, I have already matted all 3 of my pictures on this like wood logs paper that I got as a scrap from a marketplace purchase. So I don't even know where it came from. I don't know what brand it is. It was originally a 12 by 12 because I saw something about a 12 by 12 in the corner of one of them, but I have no idea anything else about it. So then I have this inch slice of paper, and it's also wood grain. Matches the wood grain that I put down in a few moments for the banners. And you really can't see much of it once the pictures are down, but just a little. And it gave another bit of distinction between the light wood and the dark wood. And you'll notice there was a cut between where I first picked it up to fiddle with it and the final laydown, because I put it down. It was cockeyed. And now looking at it, you would have never known, but it drove me nuts just to know it was like that. So I pulled the whole thing up and had to replace it. And you all didn't need to see that minute and a half probably that I fought with that strip of paper. So I have put down the 2 pictures of me and my best friend and the Sasquatch. And then when we got home from this trip, my best friend posted on Facebook that we had found Daryl. Now, I don't know if you know who Daryl is, but from a Progressive commercial with Flo, she's talking to him out in the woods, and she keeps calling him Bigfoot, and he corrects her and says his name is Daryl. So my best friend posted on Facebook these 2 pictures of us mimicking walking like him, and I just thought it was fabulous. So it has the date on it, and has the pictures and what she posted, and then of course the pictures I printed separately. And I just really wanted to incorporate that Facebook post as well, just because it's just funny. And I could have titled the page, "Look, we found Daryl," but I think having it in my best friend's words, and I put quotes around that, since obviously it's not her like written handwriting or anything. I just thought that really added to the page for me. So we have lots of adventures, the 2 of us. We can get into trouble, not big trouble, just fun trouble. This Sasquatch is at the end of the road by my in-laws' house, and we never see it because only way you can see it is if you like turn really hard behind you, because it's like right at a turn, and I don't ever leave the same way I go, so we don't see it on the way out, but we just happened to see it on the way out this time. And we had to turn around, pull in this little drive spot. It was raining, and we got out of the car to go take pictures with Daryl. Yep, that's what we do. So anyway, back to the layout. I had pre-matted a few of the banners because I didn't want y'all to have to sit here and watch me do that. The wood grain came from the same paper pad, the Woodland Retreat, and so did the text print that has the leaves on it. So, all of the banners came from that same kit. That way I knew that the coloring would match up, and I love the text on those 2 Woodland papers. I matted them on that dark, it's not black, it's kind of like a faded black, because they were really disappearing into the page because they're the same color. So, or at least the text ones were. So I went ahead and matted the 2 outside sets of banners on that dark, it's not dark gray really, it is like a faded black paper. But I didn't want to matte that black text, which you may not have seen yet. Oh yeah, it's what I'm working on now. I didn't want to matte that on that same color because it just kind of disappears. So I matted that on like a tan scrap. Everything so far has been a scrap except the base page. Actually, everything I use on this page is a scrap. So I get them all lined up, and I'm trying to make sure that I have enough to cover from one end of the pictures to the other, because I don't want any gaps in between. So I don't mind a little overlapping, but not a lot of overlapping. It looks like there's a little bit of overlapping in the sketch, but I just really wanted to make sure that the background paper was not showing through between the banners. So I have decided that I wanted some definition and some dimensions on the page, but I and originally my plan was to put the individual pictures of me and my best friend up on foam. In 100% honesty, I tacked them down halfway before I remembered I was going to do that, and didn't feel like pulling them back up and risking tearing anything. So I decided I'd find another way to add some dimension to the page. So I decided to put some foam on these two middle banners. And I just got some, what Sandy State Goddess calls fun foam that I got at Walmart. And it is sticky on one side, so you just have to tack down the other side. And I put that on the back of the two middle banners. But I also put double-sided tape on the very top of them, so they aren't pushing my picture from Facebook up very much. The foam begins about, feeling it, about a half an inch past the end of the picture, or at least a quarter of an inch, so that it's not pushing the picture up at that bottom portion. So it's just bringing the banner up and giving it a little definition at the bottom of the banner. So, and I like that because it gives a little shadow on the paper. And it, like I said, it gives a dimension. How many times can I say that in this video? So I am going to go through all of this and get all of that down. And I am happy with the way it looks. I'm trying to decide the next move. So now it is time for embellishing. And the one sticker that I really, really wanted to use, and I literally just got this at the dollar store yesterday. And it is from that Crafter's Square sticker set about friends. And it's the teal one that says, good friends are hard to find, harder to leave, and impossible to forget. And I wanted to put that on there because, A, she is my dearest friend. We've been friends for almost 30 years. And that is her favorite color. And it says, hard to find. And I thought that was kind of funny, like a play on words with the whole, well, not a play on words really, but, you know, the concept that Sasquatches are hard to find. Anyway, that's where my brain went in order to decide which friendship thing I wanted. The other thing that helps me decide things is the fact that my best friend hates the color pink. So I do not create layouts with pink on them. So as I'm going through these embellishments from the, I keep forgetting what they're called because they're not named the same thing, Forest Friends. So as I'm going through this Forest Friends embellishment set, I am making sure that whatever I pull out doesn't have pink on it. And if it does, I put it back. So there is one thing, and y'all may think I'm crazy, and I'm not going to argue, but there is one thing I pull out and decide to use that has some pink on it, and I will take some type of a pen or marker and I will color that in so it is not pink, because that's just how much I love my best friend. I have created one page that had pink on it, and it was the sweater I was wearing in the picture. And, you know, you can't really do anything about that. You can't change clothes from my wedding, my rehearsal dinner. It was a really cute picture of the two of us, and that's the only piece of pink. I made her an entire book, and there was not a stitch of pink in there. And the one sticker I found that it was perfect had like little flowers with a couple pink petals, and I colored them in. I'm not kidding. That's just how extra I can be. So, all of that to say, I'm just fiddling around at this point, looking to see what is going to go down and look good. I mean, obviously, we didn't see any of these other creatures out in the world, you know, while we were hanging out with the Sasquatch. But, you know, it all goes along with the wooded forest theme. So I'm just trying to decide if I want to put, you know, a wolf or a fox or a deer on the page, and what's going to fit and what's going to look right. So the little mushrooms I think are cute. They're kind of small, so they're not too, you know, bulky on the page. And so I add those at the top left corner and in that middle banner. And then before I started recording, I went through my Tim Holtz clippings and pulled out these little word phrases that I'm putting down on the top. And I always add the glue to the back because I love Tim Holtz, but these don't always stick very good. So up in the top left by the mushroom, it says a wonderful creature. And then above the Facebook post, it says dreams come true. And then the three that are above my best friend, one says to walk beside you. One says familiar fork in the trail, because actually it was a fork in the road where this house is. And the other one says dear friends. So now I am looking on this, and I did look at this beforehand, and I really wanted a couple of different things. But the one thing I really wanted was this hello there. And I think I showed that earlier from the ephemera pack. And I really loved it, but it was huge. Like it was a 3x3 or something. It was very big. So I didn't want to use that. But this little square one with the pink L that will be taken care of is what I put on there. And I put it right on the Facebook, that big white space. There was nothing, it's not covering anything. And then, let's see, after that, I want to put this deer down in the bottom corner to get a little space for my title. So I use my zig pin glue to glue that down. And then I decide I'm going to put the little cloud that says Adventure Awaits up on foam so that it is not hidden underneath the banners that are up on foam. And so it gives a little bit more dimension. So I cut the blue foam from Walmart up and put it on the back in different places so that it is pretty evened out. It takes me a minute because I didn't want to cut like in a cloud shape. I just figured I'd cut a big piece and then some small pieces around it so it doesn't dip. I mean, right now it's pretty firm, but over time it may dip down. So I like to mostly cover the back with the foam. And then I use some double-sided tape to get that laid down. So now I have, I think I'm still cutting the foam. Yep, still cutting foam. So like I said, it took me a minute. I guess I could have cut some of that out for you all. So I double-side tape it and put that down to where it is not, the only part that is on top of the banner is it's not dipping or causing anything to bow because there's no foam right there behind that banner piece. And so that is good. So then I open up the snarky comments, and I've already looked through this as well and found 3 that are super fitting. So the first one I put down in the right past the cloud says, we never really grow up. We only learn how to act in public, which is actually pretty not true because we are being super ridiculous in public, although there's really nobody other than my kids there to see us acting this way. And then the next one I picked out and put on there above that says, she was tempted to cause a scene. And that's super true of both my best friend and myself. And then the one on the bottom says, I have absolutely no desire to fit in. And I really wanted more we comments, but most of the snarky comments are I comments. But it is super fitting of both of us as well, because neither one of us fit in any kind of mold because we're super different. So that pretty much finishes off the page. I was trying to decide about some splattering or scattering or something. I may go back and add some little gold Stickles just up in the top left corner, maybe around the mushroom and maybe by the deer. But I really don't know because it's already really busy with all the background paper and stuff. But I will, and I'm going to show you that this is bending because that's not cardstock, that tree paper. So I'll like bend it here in a minute and show you just so that you understand that I plan on putting this on a piece of cardstock so that it has that it's more sturdy on the back. And it won't be like I trim it down or anything. It'll just be in the back. So that is pretty much it. Other than, like I said, I may put some gold Stickles on there, but I haven't decided. So I'm going to show you the up close. And I hope that you like it. And I hope that you all have a great day. And I hope that you get a chance today to do something you love with someone you love. Have a great one, and I hope you all join in and watch all the other videos. Happy scrapping!